Dealers won't tell you this, but not all Wrangler trims are created equal. Some lose money the second you drive off the lot, and others quietly become collector pieces worth a fortune. Today, we're counting down the 7 Wrangler trims you should never sell, and one of them just got killed forever. Number 7. Sport S. Let's start with the trim that everyone sleeps on. The one real Wrangler people know is the secret weapon of the entire lineup. The Sport S is the underdog of the entire lineup, and that's exactly why it ends up on garage shelves 20 years later, still printing money. Most folks ignore it because it sounds like the cheap option, but under the hood you're getting the legendary 3.6-liter Pentastar V6, making 285 horsepower with 260 pound-feet of torque. That's the same exact engine bolted into Saharas, costing 15 grand more. The Sport S adds power windows, power locks, cruise control, and a 7-inch touchscreen with Apple CarPlay and Android Auto built right in. So you're not stuck rocking the old radio while everyone in the Sahara is jamming wireless audio. Now the math gets stupid. Spec it with the optional 4xe plug-in hybrid powertrain, and you're looking at 375 horsepower with 470 pound-feet of torque, plus a federal tax credit that knocks $7,500 off the sticker. Now look at the price tag. Around $37,000 for the 2-door, and $41,000 for the 4-door Unlimited. That's the cheapest entry into the modern Wrangler experience that won't feel like a base rental. But the real reason you keep this trim forever comes down to one number. IC-Cars data shows the Wrangler depreciates only 32% over 5 years, compared to 46% for the average midsize SUV. The Sport S sits dead center in that bell curve because everyone wants one used. You can also build it into anything you want. Throw on a 2-inch lift, slap 33-inch tires, swap in a steel front bumper, and you've got a rig that looks meaner than a stock Rubicon at half the cost. Pentastar engines routinely cross 300,000 miles on stock factory drivetrains in real-world owner reports. That kind of bulletproof reliability is why these trucks hold their money for decades. Smart buyers grab a clean 2-year-old Sport S off a lease return for around $28,000, drop 10 grand into mods, and end up with a $40,000 Wrangler that outtrails most stock Rubicons. That math is unbeatable. The Sport S also gets the same trail-rated badge that the Rubicon carries, meaning it has been tested across the same 5 categories of traction, articulation, maneuverability, ground clearance, and water fording. However, the next trim has something the Sport S never will, and it traces all the way back to 1941. Number 6. Willys. This trim is named after the original Willys Overland that helped win the Second World War for the Allies. Every modern Jeep on the road traces directly back to that vehicle. So owning a Willys means you're driving a piece of American military history that started rolling off assembly lines 85 years ago. The modern Willys gives you a rear limited slip differential, Rubicon-tuned shocks, rock rails, 17-inch black aluminum wheels, 33-inch all-terrain tires, and a 4-to-1 command track 4x4 system. You're getting roughly 80% of the Rubicon's off-road capability for about 6 grand less. But the real flex is the Extreme 35 package, the option box that turns the Willys into a stock Rubicon killer. Ticket and you get beadlock-capable 17-inch wheels, 35-inch BF Goodrich all-terrains, 4.56 final drive gears, a 1.5-inch lift, and a reinforced tailgate to handle the bigger spare. With that package fitted, the Willys can clear obstacles that stop most stock Rubicons cold. Pricing starts around $41,000 for the 2-door and $45,000 for the Unlimited. Compared to the Rubicon X starting north of 55 grand, that's serious savings for similar capability. Now check this collector twist nobody talks about. The 2005 TJ Willys edition originally produced only 3,328 units, and clean examples now trade hands for nearly what they sold for new 20 years ago. The modern Willys is following the exact same trajectory because Jeep heritage trims always end up gaining a cult following once production ends. If you want a Wrangler that actually means something historically, has the chops to back it up, and won't bleed money the second you drive it home, the Willys is your move. Real Wrangler owners often say the Willys is what Jeep would build if engineers ran the company instead of accountants. No luxury fluff, no leather seats trying to upsell you, just hardware that works on the trail and looks the part doing it. The blacked-out grille, hood decal, and 4x4 swing-gate badge give it road presence without the try-hard look of fully blacked-out factory editions either. Owners who buy a Willys almost never sell it, which keeps used inventory tight and resale numbers strong year after year. But the next trim went Hollywood, became a movie tie-in, and turned a 1,000-unit limited edition into a six-figure auction grail. Number 5. Sahara. The Sahara is the trim that proved a Jeep Wrangler could be civilized without losing what makes it a Wrangler, and history has been wildly kind to it. This trim debuted way back in 1996 on the wide J generation, making it one of the longest-running nameplates in the entire Wrangler lineup. The original concept was simple: take the rugged platform and add the comfort that sport buyers were begging for. Body color fender flares, 18-inch alloy wheels, an 8.4-inch Uconnect infotainment system, leather seats, and remote keyless entry all became standard equipment that made daily driving genuinely pleasant. The Sahara is also the gateway to the 4xe plug-in hybrid, which delivers 375 horsepower, 470 pound-feet of torque, and roughly 22 miles of pure electric range. Plug it in overnight and you can run errands without burning a drop of gas. But the move that sealed Sahara's spot on this list came in 2005. Jeep released the Sahara Edition Unlimited Rubicon, a numbered limited run of exactly 1,000 units to celebrate the Matthew McConaughey film of the same name. All of them came in light khaki, all of them got chrome grills, Moab wheels, and a numbered dash badge. Today, those Sahara editions trade for triple their original sticker at auction. Owners report some of the highest satisfaction scores of any trim in the lineup, with average ownership stretching past 7 years compared to 4 for the rest of the Wrangler family. Long ownership equals tight used market supply, which equals the resale strength that keeps Saharas climbing in value. The current Sahara starts around $48,000 for the Unlimited only, since Jeep killed the two-door version. If your Wrangler doubles as a daily driver and you want luxury without losing the soul, the Sahara is the answer of all answers. And the limited editions are genuine pure gold in every sense of the word, with values steadily climbing on every major collector platform. Therefore, the next trim took everything good about the Sahara, threw it into a Rubicon body, and created the most loaded factory Wrangler ever sold. Quick side note: if you're into making your Jeep last way longer and avoiding the expensive mistakes most owners make, I put together a simple guide called the 500,000-mile Jeep Blueprint. It breaks down exactly what to do and what to avoid. I'll leave it linked in the description below if you want to check it out. Number 4. Rubicon X. When Jeep introduced the Rubicon X for the JL generation, they basically asked themselves a wild question. What if we took the most capable Wrangler ever made and added every comfort option people actually wanted? The answer is one of the best equipped vehicles ever to leave the Toledo plant. The Rubicon X comes standard with the Extreme 35 tire package, meaning you get beadlock capable 17-inch wheels and 35-inch BF Goodrich all-terrain tires from the factory, with a worn winch and steel front bumper bolted on. That setup alone would cost you $10,000 to add aftermarket, and you'd void your warranty in the process. Inside, you get 12-way power-adjustable Napa leather seats, a 12.3-inch Uconnect 5 touchscreen with navigation, a 9-speaker Alpine premium audio system, and heated seats with a heated steering wheel. The TrailCam off-road camera shows you exactly what's hidden under your front bumper while you're picking lines through a rock garden. Mechanically, you're rolling with the full Rubicon hardware. Heavy-duty wide-track Dana 44 axles front and rear, TrueLock electronic locking differentials, an electronic front sway bar disconnect, the RockTrack 4:1 transfer case, and a 100:1 crawl ratio paired with the manual transmission. Approach angle clocks in at 44 degrees, breakover at 27, and departure at 37. Those numbers crush every direct competitor on paper. The Rubicon X starts around $60,000, which sounds like a lot until you spec a base Rubicon with all the same options and watch the price climb to $65,000. So you're saving money by paying more, which is the kind of math only Jeep makes possible. You also get the full Jeep Wave benefits package: free oil changes, free tire rotations, and 24-hour roadside assistance for 2 years. That alone saves roughly $800 a year in maintenance. But none of these modern trims can touch the cultural impact of the next one: because it built modern Jeep culture from the ground up over an 11-year run. Number 3. JK Rubicon. The JK Rubicon ran from 2007 to 2018, and during that 11-year run, it became the most popular off-road platform on the planet, no exceptions. Walk into any trail park in America today and try counting the JK Rubicons before you give up. The original JK Rubicon launched with a 3.8-liter Chrysler V6 making 202 horsepower, which everyone agreed was a little weak. So Jeep dropped in the 3.6 Pentastar V6 for 2012, bumping output to 285 horsepower while improving fuel economy. That swap alone made the late JK Rubicon a completely different vehicle. What made the JK Rubicon legendary was the standard equipment list: heavy-duty Dana 44 axles front and rear, True-Lock electronic locking differentials, electronic front sway bar disconnect, 4-to-1 rock track transfer case, BF Goodrich mud terrain tires, rock rails, and a 73-to-1 crawl ratio with the manual transmission. Stock from the factory, this thing could go places that most modified rigs only dream about. But the real magic was the unlimited 4-door body style introduced for 2007. Suddenly, families could go off-roading together without anyone climbing over the front seats, and sales went absolutely vertical overnight. Jeep produced over 1 million Wranglers during the JK era, with the Rubicon making up roughly 20% of that volume. Aftermarket support also went nuclear. Today there are more bolt-on parts available for the JK Rubicon than for almost any other vehicle in history. Lift kits, axles, bumpers, lights, fender flares, seats, you name it, somebody makes 10 versions of it. That ecosystem means a clean, used JK Rubicon can be transformed into anything you want for a fraction of buying new. The price of admission today sits around $25,000 for a clean 2017 Rubicon Unlimited, and those prices have been climbing since 2023 because supply is tightening. The 2013 10-year anniversary edition is the unicorn of the bunch, with only 5,000 units produced and unique red interior accents. Those examples already command serious premiums on the collector market. The 2017 25th Anniversary Edition Recon also got special treatment with rock rails, half doors, and a numbered dash plaque. Both editions are showing up on enthusiast wish lists every single week, and prices are following demand straight up. The JK Rubicon went from daily driver to modern classic in real time, and most owners did not even notice it happening. Trail-rated approach angles for the JK Rubicon clocked in at 44.3 degrees with a 40.4 departure angle, numbers that the JL barely improved on a decade later. However, the next trim is the original article, the one that started this entire bloodline, and it's already the answer to one of the questions I asked you in the hook. Number 2. TJ Rubicon. Here it is, the original. The 2003 TJ Rubicon was the very first Jeep Wrangler ever sold to the public with factory front and rear lockers, a 4-to-1 transfer case, and Dana 44 axles standard. Before this trim existed, you had to spend 10 grand modifying a Sport to get this kind of capability. Jeep changed the game overnight. The launch story alone makes the TJ Rubicon legendary. Jeep originally planned to build only 8,000 units for 2003, limited mostly because the supplier could only produce 16,000 locker assemblies per year. Demand was so insane that Jeep doubled the run to 16,000 units, sold every single one, and never looked back. The Rubicon nameplate has been on every generation of Wrangler since. Mechanically, this rig is pure analog goodness. 4.0-liter inline-six making 190 horsepower and 235 pound-feet of torque, paired with either the new Venture 5-speed manual or the Mercedes-sourced NSG 370 6-speed introduced for 2005. The 4-to-1 Rocktrack NV241 transfer case, combined with the 4.10 gears and locked Dana 44s, gave the TJ Rubicon a crawl ratio of 73-to-1, which still embarrasses most modern off-roaders. Then there are the limited editions that turned the TJ Rubicon into a collector grail. The 2003 Tomb Raider edition saw exactly 1,001 units produced, all silver, with unique badging and the option of manual or automatic transmission. The 2005 Sahara edition Unlimited Rubicon was capped at exactly 1,000 light khaki examples. Both of those trade hands today for $50,000 or more in clean condition. roughly double their original sticker price. Remember the loop I opened in the hook about TJ Rubicon selling for triple? This is the answer. The unmodified TJ Rubicons in good shape are now serious collector territory. Haggerty Insurance has started tracking them as appreciating assets. A clean 2006 LJ Rubicon Unlimited, which only saw 6,742 units produced, regularly clears $35,000 at auction. They will not get cheaper, ever. The TJ Rubicon also gets credit for launching what enthusiasts call the modern off-road era, since every factory off-roader after it borrowed elements from this exact playbook. Toyota, Ford, and even Land Rover engineers have publicly cited the TJ Rubicon as the benchmark that forced the entire industry to take factory off-road builds seriously. That kind of legacy alone makes every clean TJ Rubicon absolutely worth holding onto for decades. But none of that prepares you for what sits at number one, because Jeep just killed it forever, and the world will never get another one. Number 1. Rubicon 392. The Rubicon 392 is the wildest, most insane Jeep Wrangler ever produced, and in 2025, Jeep ended its production run forever. The numbers tell the whole story in one breath. You're looking at a 6.4-liter Hemi V8 making 470 horsepower and 470 pound-feet of torque, 0 to 60 miles per hour in 4.5 seconds, quarter mile in 13.0 seconds flat, a 48-to-1 crawl ratio, 11.6 inches of ground clearance, and 34.5 inches of water fording capability. This is a body-on-frame off-roader with the acceleration of a sports sedan and the trail capability of a purpose-built rock buggy. Jeep launched the Rubicon 392 for the 2021 model year at a starting price of $74,995. Then they announced the 2024 model year would be the final edition, capped at 3,700 units worldwide. The Jeep community went nuclear. There was literally a class action lawsuit filed by enthusiasts demanding Jeep keep building it. So Jeep extended production for one more year, calling the 2025 run the actual final edition, with the starting price now sitting at $99,995. The hardware on the 392 is what makes it a forever keeper. Wide-track Dana 44 axles with TrueLock lockers, a factory 2.5-inch lift, Fox shocks, beadlock-capable 17-inch wheels, 35-inch BF Goodrich all-terrain standard, a HydroGuide air intake that can shed up to 15 gallons of water per minute, a Warn 8,000-pound winch, and the TorqueFlite 8-speed automatic transmission. Inside you get heated Nappa leather, a 12.3-inch screen, and unique bronze trim badging. This is the last factory-built V8 Wrangler that will ever exist with that engine. When you own one, you own a piece of automotive history that ended forever in 2025. Resale on the Rubicon 392 has been borderline absurd. Clean 2021 launch editions are still selling above their original sticker price 4 years later, which almost never happens with new vehicles. Final edition models with the bronze badging and original window stickers are already commanding dealer markups of $15,000 to $20,000 over their original $99,995 MSRP, and demand keeps tightening every quarter. So if you have one in your garage right now, do yourself a favor and never sell it. That's why Jeep killed the V8. That's why TJ Rubicons triple their value. That's why the entire Wrangler universe revolves around these 7 trims, and they're the ones you should never sell. That's 7 Wrangler trims you should never sell. If you learned something new, hit subscribe, and let me know in the comments which one you're holding on to, or which one you wish you bought. And go ahead and click the video on screen to keep going. See you there!